Hello, everyone. Welcome to your recap of Week 6 of the NFL and Fantasy Rip League fantasy season. So today we are just going to go over the results of all the matchups from Week 6, and we are going to show our lineup for Week 7. And we are playing against... Who are we playing against? I forget now. House of Cards. We're playing against House of Cards. So the first lineup for Week 6, the first matchup, was the Card Dojo versus Spurs Cards 21. Card Dojo pulling out the win, bringing himself to 2-4, and Spurs Cards falling to 1-5. Spurs Cards had 2020 Prestige Hanger Boxes, which is exactly what Card Dojo opened. And Dojo just ended up with some better multipliers. He got Philip Rivers times 2, which netted him 51.48 points. And Kenny Golladay times 3 for 37 points. Aaron Jones times 3. So he had some good multipliers in there, despite not really pulling a tight end that played. So ended up with 143.78 against Spurs Cards 123.30, who had the Steelers multiplier times 3 for 54 points. That was the defense of the week. Second lineup was JPN Sports Cards with his 2020 Prestige Hanger Box versus Derb Sports Talkin' Cards, ripping a Mojo Chest Repack, which had some pretty cool stuff in it. That was a neat product to see. And he pulled a Stephon Diggs rookie auto. So times 6 multiplier on that netted him 81.6 points. And yeah, there wasn't a whole lot going on the JPN side. So he had 3 goose eggs, and one of those was a autograph multiplier for somebody who got no points. So Derb Sports Talking Cards takes the win on that one, moving himself to 2-3, and JPN falling to 4-2. Derb with 184.48 total against JPN's 77.5. Next we had Hendo's Hobbies going against Folk Rips and his 2020 Luminance Hobby Box. Hendo ripped a 2020 Donruss Mega Box and only ended up with 1 multiplier, which was the Rams defense, and they finished with 0 points. So no notable plays on that side. But Folk Rips had a really nice Luminance Hobby Box. Pulled a DeAndre Swift auto times 6. So the Fantasy Rip League player of the week was DeAndre Swift with 154.8 points. And Lamar Jackson times 3 had 84 points. So 308.52 for Folk Rips. Yeah, that's top score of the week by far. Versus Hendo's 71.7. Fourth and final matchup was DeBuffman 17 and his 2020 Donruss Mega Box versus House of Cards doing 2020 Donruss Blaster Boxes. And DeBuffman ended up with 5 multipliers on some pretty good players and ended up with 137.38, taking the win, bringing himself to 4-2. House of Cards falling to 3-3. With 128.24 versus DeBuffman's 137.38. And bracket, of course, was on bye. So here are the new league standings. Hendo's Hobbies in first place, but technically there's a 4-way tie where they are just seeded based on total points scored for the year so far. But Hendo's Hobbies, Bracket Fantasy Sports Cards, JPN Sports Cards, and DeBuffman all 4-2. House of Cards taking the 5th spot at 3-3. Derb Sports Talking Cards and Folk Rips tied at 2-3. Card Dojo 2-4, and Spurs Cards 21 1-5. Still anyone's league. Only three games out of first for the last place team, so not too bad. Week 7 lineup is going to be the Card Dojo versus House of Cards, JPN Sports Cards versus Bracket Fantasy Sports Cards, Hendo's Hobbies versus Derb Sports Talking Cards, and DeBuffman versus Folk Rips. Spurs Cards 21 taking the bye. So, yeah. All right. Week 6 in the NFL. What do you think, Jeff?
I think there's a lot of good games that we're going to get to watch this week. Pittsburgh and Tennessee. That could be an AFC. That's going to be a playoff matchup right there.
There's a couple highlighted games that we have. Pittsburgh, Tennessee is going to be a great one. Detroit and Atlanta, I think, is going to be really good for fantasy purposes anyway. I think it's going to be high scoring, probably a shootout. So
Seattle and Arizona, that's going to be another good one for fantasy.
It's going to be great. Tampa Bay at Las Vegas, I think that's also going to be hopefully a shootout. Either way, I think it'll be evenly matched, even if it's low scoring, but should be a good game. Okay, for Week 7, for our lineup. Here we go. At quarterback, we are playing Patrick Mahomes times 1. Kansas City is taking on Denver in Denver, but I think Patrick's been playing well, and I think he will pull out a win there. Should get some good points for us. Ezekiel Elliott is going in our running back 1 spot
Against Washington.
James Conner in that Pittsburgh-Tennessee game that we talked about. So hopefully, if Pittsburgh jumps out on top, he'll do good. But I'm just really hoping that he has a good game. There's no multipliers on any of those, but here at the bottom we have a few. So we pulled a mem card of Cooper Kupp. And who do they play?
They're playing Chicago.
Oh, that's right. That's the Monday game. That's why I couldn't find it. Yeah, Cooper Kupp times 4. And then we have DeAndre Hopkins times 2 for our wide receiver 2. Tight end spot, we're going with George Kittle.
Cannot go wrong with George Kittle.
Cannot go wrong with George Kittle. We only pulled, I think, one other tight end who was on bye. So, yeah, it's going to be Kittle either way. We are playing Roquan Smith times 2 in our defensive player kicker position. We did not pull a kicker this time, I don't believe.
No, we did not.
No, so we had to go with defensive player, and we're going with Roquan Smith on that Monday night game against LA. And Chase Young, of course, is injured, but we are going to play the Washington defense times 2 in our defensive position. So you feel good about that lineup?
I feel pretty confident about D-Hop and Cooper Kupp making a comeback this week.
I kind of feel like we should have played Kyler, but either way, Mahomes will do well. He might not do as well, but he'll do good. Okay, so that is our lineup for Week 7, and I think we'll have to recap our bold predictions now, and then make a couple new ones. Yeah,
we didn't do too well this week.
We did not. So my bold prediction for Week 6 was Andy Dalton finishes as a top 15 quarterback, and he did not. He finished 22nd overall. But even that seems better than if you watch the game. He did not actually look all that great. So a little disappointed there. I think he'll get into the groove. I'm still not giving up on Andy Dalton, but last week I missed that bold prediction. And Jeff predicted Matt Stafford, throwing for 350 yards and 3 touchdowns. They did score a lot.
They scored 34 points. Who would have guessed they would have done that running?
It's all on the ground. Yeah, DeAndre Swift's coming out of nowhere, making his breakout game. So that was part of that.
I knew they were going to put up points against Jacksonville. I just went the wrong way with it.
He did score. He did throw for 223 passing yards and 1 touchdown, but we fell short of that prediction as well. So this week, we each took a bold prediction, and they're very similar in style, I guess you want to say. You want to go over yours?
Yeah, my bold prediction is Teddy Bridgewater is playing the Saints, and that he's going to win the game. He's also going to do better than Drew Brees. Has a little nod to him getting his starting job and his place to play football again.
Yeah.
And that's my bold prediction.
Sort of a revenge game, you think?
Maybe a little bit revenge, maybe a little bit of I could have taken Drew Brees' spot.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll see. I don't think that's crazy. It's bold, but it's not crazy. My bold prediction is the same type of thing, except I am predicting Kyler Murray to not only beat Seattle, but to finish as a higher quarterback than Russell Wilson. I think he's going to be top 10. So,
not too crazy, but
also if we get it wrong, don't want to be surprised. Yeah. All right. Well, that I think that about covers it for the week. That's the wrap up, guys. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already, and we will see you on the next video.